Don't you just love the beginning of a new year? It's like so many possibilities and so many things that you're gonna do differently. Like, you're gonna get more organized when it comes to your meal planning. You're gonna eat healthier. You're gonna save money on your groceries. And those all sound like lofty goals, except that it's actually completely possible. And we're here to make it a lot easier for you.
That's totally true.
Freezer meals have been saving my behind for about 20 years now, and I would love to help you get that same kind of freedom. So we're going to share with you today some really healthy meals that you can make ahead and get in your freezer so that mealtime is no longer the most stressful part of your day. We are really excited to just share our method with you, our system, and to hopefully get you on the freezer meal train. We're going to start out with some chicken recipes. The first one is a sheet pan meal, so it's super fast and easy because everything cooks up at the same time, all on one sheet, so there are less dishes. And this is our Mediterranean chicken sheet pan. Before we jump into the recipe, I'm going to have Christy explain what we did to the chicken to get it in the bags.
All I did was I trimmed the chicken. This is one of those big Costco sheets, and it divides nicely into 2 family-size meals. So I open up the package, and then I take a pair of scissors, and I just pick it up, and if there's any little gnarly bits that need to come off, I can get rid of those. I just drop it right in the bag, and then that bag is ready to go for whatever we are going to make that day. So if we're doing 10 chicken recipes, we can just bang, throw them all together because this prep is already done.
We also prepped our other ingredients ahead. We always recommend that you prep the day before. That way you're just assembling on the day of, and it's super fast and easy to get everything in your bags. Now, after we put this together, I'm going to give you a pro tip that is going to save you even more time than just doing freezer meals will. But to get started, I'm going to grab our ingredients. We have gathered all of our ingredients and they are here behind us because another tip for you is it does save time if you gather all your ingredients ahead. That way you don't discover partway through making a recipe that you're missing an ingredient and have to run to the store. And that way you're not running around your kitchen. It just saves time to prep all the ingredients together. We just walk around my kitchen with the recipe so that we know what to gather and set it out. So into our freezer bag here, we're going to add, we've got our chicken thighs already. They're boneless, skinless. And then we're gonna add a purple onion that in our prep we chopped into some large chunks.
Next will be the tomato and oregano dressing. If it isn't something that you can find easily in your grocery store, you can use Greek dressing, you can make your own vinaigrette if you want, and we're just going to put a ½ cup on there. Sometimes during our prep we even take the time to go around and take all these silly lids off so that it's all taken care of, but we didn't for this one today. Awesome.
We're gonna add some garlic and we just use it from a jar because it's super easy. It's already minced. And some Greek seasoning.
I'm gonna drain these olives because we're almost at the end of this jar and we're gonna get into this one, but I have a little colander over by the sink, so I'm just gonna start there.
We're gonna add in some dried mint. You could also use fresh if you prefer. Then we're gonna add in some lemon juice.
You can measure this, or if you've been cooking a long time, you can just kind of be like, that's about a tablespoon.
Then we're gonna add in some capers.
If you have been watching us for a while, you'll see that we have a tiny jar of capers. We used to have the big Costco one and it literally took us like 2 years to get through it. So we're not gonna make that mistake again. It was a lot.
Some things you can buy in bulk and other things you maybe should not. So we're gonna add in our pitted Kalamata olives. And then we're going to squish everything together in the bag. We're gonna get out as much air as we can because in freezer cooking, air is the enemy. It causes your freezer burn. And we're gonna seal that up and get it into the freezer. Ooh, before we do that, we're gonna add our label with the cooking instructions and the date.
Awesome. I'll put it on the face.
Voila, our first meal done. But I have to tell you that this could have actually been, in that exact same amount of time, 2 meals. And that's the secret that I was telling you about earlier about how to make freezer cooking way easier. Because if you double each of the recipes, then you've got your ingredients out anyway. You do the exact same prep. We just would have chopped 2 purple onions into chunks instead of the 1. And when we were trimming our chicken, we just would have trimmed an extra bag. Then when you're throwing things in, it really is just as fast to throw them right into your second bag, which is already open right beside you. So that's what we recommend, and that is usually what we do. Mm-hmm. The only real exception for us is if we're doing a brand new recipe and we're not sure if we're gonna like it, then we usually only do 1, or sometimes if we're doing it together, we do 2. Mm-hmm. And then Christy's household can try 1, my household can try 1. We can then discuss if it was like...
if it needs tweaks, or if it's good to go, or if it's a, no thank you. We can't salvage this, we'll just forget that we ever made it. And normally when we do our make-a sessions, we make 4 at a time of each recipe. So I get to take home 2 and Charlotte gets to take home 2. It feels very abundant. But you know what? If you're just starting out, doubling your dinner is the best way to go. Because if you're gonna make this and eat this tonight, you might as well double your prep, get 1 into a bag and into your freezer while you eat the other one. There are just so many ways you can do freezer meals to make it smart and to make it work for you.
And when you go to cook this Mediterranean chicken sheet pan, you're gonna thaw it. You're gonna lay some parchment paper out on your baking sheet, dump the bag contents right on there. You're gonna wash up some baby tomatoes, throw those on there for a pop of color, flavor, and some extra freshness. You're gonna bake that in the oven, and then you're gonna pull it out and sprinkle it with some crumbled feta, and then put it back in the oven just for a little bit to let that feta kind of crisp up. And it is so delicious, and all you need to serve with this to make it a complete meal, because you've already got your veggies, is some quinoa or some rice or some couscous, and you have a delicious dinner that is worthy of serving to company.
The slow cooker Chipotle chicken is a great one because you can set it and forget it. All of this stuff here is going to make the most wonderful marinade that it's going to cook up in, and it's going to be spicy and warm, and you can serve it with, you know, potatoes or rice or pasta. It doesn't matter. It's just going to be ready when you are, because it's in the slow cooker. We love that so much. We're going to start out with our chicken in the bag. We're going to add in our can of Chipotle peppers in adobo sauce and we love these kinds. We love these kinds. I can hardly open it because it's just got the pop top. So you don't even need a can opener. Do you know what? One of our favorite kitchen tools is our electric can opener. We make so many meals that it's actually like a necessity for us. Look at all of that in there. If spice is not your jam, you can reduce the amount of peppers you put in there, or you can take them out before. You can put them in now and then take them out before you cook them in the slow cooker.
Some minced onion.
A bit of garlic. Now we like to use garlic from a jar. It's pretty darn flavorful. So much easier than doing it yourself. Some cumin. You go ahead and do the spices.
Salt.
And the tomato paste. And some chicken broth.
Ooh, honey.
Oh, I forgot the honey. Good call.
The honey also helps cut the spice because you've got that sweet to offset the spice a little bit.
And I'm gonna eyeball this because I just have a teaspoon in there and we need a couple of tablespoons. So there we go. Lastly, some chicken broth. You can use your own. You can't see it, but I can smell it. Charlotte's making some chicken broth from her cooking adventures yesterday, and it's over there on her stove, but we're gonna use the box today because it's not quite ready yet. And that's it. That was simple to put together. Like we said before, if we had 2 or 3 or 4 bags, it would just be bang, 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 and you're done, almost in the exact same time. Mix it around in your bag. Get your excess air out. Freezer meals last 3 to 6 months in your freezer. The best way to avoid freezer burn is to get all that excess air out. So whatever way you want to do that, Charla and I have different techniques, and it's quite funny.
Now you can find these recipes in the description down below. And if you are interested in a method and system that takes all of the guesswork out of freezer cooking, it is completely achievable for you to get your freezer stacked with amazing meals and never have to wonder what's for dinner again. With the Freezer Meals 101 Club, we have taken the guesswork out of it for you. Once you join, you go in and you can access over 400 of our tried and true recipes that you know are winners. Then you can create your custom meal plan. You can change the serving sizes so that if there's just 1 or 2 of you, you can make it work for you. Or if you've got a large family, it can work for that too. Then you're gonna print off your shopping list, your prep list, and most fun, your printable labels with the cooking instructions right there on your meal. Then all you're gonna do is assemble those meals, and future you is going to thank today you because all the work is already done. The link for the Freezer Meals 101 Club is in the description down below. So we do want you to check out the Freezer Meals 101 Club if you're interested in making this part of the way that you do dinner at your house. And not only do we have those systems in place in the club, but we also have a monthly live cooking class where you can come and cook right along with us. We basically hold your hand through the whole process, and we are there live to answer any questions you have. But the best part of those cooking classes isn't just walking away with the meals and the ability to feed your family for weeks to come, or even if you are a single or dual person household, we break that down in the cooking classes for you, how to portion the meals and cook them for 1 or 2. But that's not even the best part. The community. We have the best community, the best people, and so encouraging, so supportive of each other, and we just have a lot of fun at our cooking classes.
And for a limited time only, we are including our mega meal bundle with any club memberships valued at over $500. This offer goes away soon, so grab yours today.
So go check that out. Link is in the description below. And we are going to move on to our next protein, because when we do freezer cooking, we like to do 1 protein at a time. Less chance of cross-contamination, keeps things safer, simpler, but faster. And I know you care about faster. So we're gonna start on some ground turkey recipes next. We're gonna start off with a tip, and actually 2 tips. One is, one of the reasons that it's great to do your prep the day before is because you never want to put warm or hot ingredients into your freezer bags. Lots of reasons for that. It can cause condensation, which can lead to some freezer burn or things just not having the right textures. It can also warm up your freezer and make it have to work harder. It can start to thaw things that are already frozen in your freezer. Just all kinds of reasons that you do not want to put warm or hot things into your freezer. So if you do your prep the day before and you're browning any kind of meats, then those can cool in the fridge overnight. And when you go to use them, they're already cool. The other thing that I want to tell you is we've got our browned turkey here, and we put a 1 cup measuring cup in there so that we can measure it into our bags. We've got 3 bags here because we're doing 3 different recipes. We're only doing 1 of each because all of these are new to us recipes. These are experiments. We're like showing you right here.
So we will say the recipe for these are not linked in the description below because we're not 100% on them yet, and we're not going to give you the link until we're 100%.
We don't want to steer you wrong when it comes to the recipes.
We have not made it yet to the website.
But those chicken ones, go check them out because they're awesome, and the links for those are below. So for this, we're actually going to just portion it into our bags now. For ground beef, once it's browned, 2 1/3 cups equals 1 pound. For ground turkey or ground chicken, it's about 2 1/2. So similar. So you can just have your measuring scoop in there and get it all portioned out among the bags.
And if you're doing a big session that day, then the scoop just stays there all day. That is now the ground turkey scoop until we are done with the ground turkey. We put one in our onions, we put one in our shredded cheese, we put it in with whatever that we measure on a regular basis. And we have minced onion, and then we have another one for chopped onion because we're fancy like that, and we do all kinds of onions in our recipes. Something else that I will mention, and Charlotte kind of touched on it, we do actually brown our ground meats. Sometimes people say, yeah, you can just throw your ground beef in the bag uncooked and it'll just cook up on the day of. We prefer not to. It is really, if there's a sauce in there, you just about can't overcook ground beef. We like the texture better when it's pre-cooked, and we like that it mixes nicer in the bag, and we also like that we can control the amount of grease that is in there. Like you can drain it and then get it in here the next day. So for all those reasons, we do brown our ground meats ahead of time. So it's Italian ground sausage, ground chicken, ground beef.
So this first of our ground turkey recipes that we're trying is a turkey chili. So we've got our ground turkey here in our bag. Then we're gonna add some chopped onion. When I was doing my prep, I did not use the Freezer Meals 101 Club because I couldn't, because these are brand new recipes. They're not in the club yet. Therefore, I hand wrote it and I wrote things wrong. And I was supposed to chop a certain amount of red pepper and I accidentally misread that as purple onion. So we're using purple onion for all of our onion needs today.
We're gonna add in some minced garlic.
And some of that chopped red pepper, which did actually get done properly.
Oh, look at this. We are almost ready for a new chili powder.
4 tablespoons.
Tablespoons.
Yep.
It is so. Wow. That's a 1/4 cup. That's a lot. Why don't we try it with 2?
Maybe we'll go 3.
This is how we're testing already, right?
Yeah, because we're just thinking that sounds a bit excessive for the amount of everything else going in here. You know, we kind of guess measure our seasonings because we're so used to the recipes and we know it sort of just all works out. But when we do brand new recipes, we do try to measure because that way we're getting accurate amounts.
For seasonings, for me, I almost always do measure because I feel like I'm very bad at judging seasonings, but I did it earlier with the lemon juice. I felt more comfortable about knowing what a tablespoon of lemon juice was going to look like as opposed to what 3 or 4 tablespoons of chili powder would look like. So it's whatever your comfort level is. In the beginning, measure everything. If you become seasoned and you're like, I can guess how much is a 1/4 cup of ketchup, you can go right ahead and just, it's way faster, it's less dishes. We do like to do that.
We're gonna add in our cumin. Yeah, I agree with you about the chili powder. That's definitely...
It just seemed excessive. Now, when we go to make this and we eat it, we might say,
It's too bland.
this could use a little more chili powder.
And then we know.
Then we know, but I don't think that's gonna be the case here. That's the experience of us doing this for so long, right? And I do have more oregano. I am the director of spice management around here, and I did let Charla know that she was almost out of oregano. We film and cook everything in her house, but I live 2 doors that way. And so, you know, if I need to borrow something, it is very handy, and vice versa.
Super handy. We are constantly texting each other saying, do you have this or do you have that? And then one of our kids will run it one way or the other.
Yes, and now that our kids drive, like I let my son come and take the car and come and bring you whatever it was you were asking for. What am I?
Cayenne.
It's here.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Mm-hmm. I'm so short I can't see over the mega chili powder.
I think you're the only person I know that has the Tupperware spice containers. Not that I go into everybody's spice racks at their house when I go into their house, but like I've cooked with a lot of my friends. You are the only person I know that has those. I think they're super cute.
I've had them for 29 years.
They were a wedding gift.
Yes, they were. All right, we need a can of diced tomatoes.
So one of the nice things also about freezer meals is, you know, Charlotte, just put a little bit of salt in there. If it was, for me, I would have put in a little more salt, but if you're being salt conscious, then you buy the no salt tomatoes. You can substitute things in that work better for you and your family and your dietary needs.
We're gonna do a cup of chicken broth.
And I will tell you, because I know this is a fact, it is more fun to do freezer meals with a friend.
100%. It is way more fun and it helps the time go by really fast.
Oh yeah.
Usually, we would be working on 2 separate meals. If we're not showing you, then Christy would be making the turkey chili over there, and I'd be making actually, I would be making a recipe that had nothing to do with turkey because she'd be doing all the turkey recipes. I'd be doing all the pork recipes or all the vegetarian recipes or whatever. And then we get things done twice as fast.
We really do. So I'm going to add in the kidney beans. It says to be rinsed and drained. In my own personal chili life, I don't drain my kidney beans. And whatever that stuff is in there with it, I just put it, it's chili, it's okay. But I did rinse and drain them and then I put them back in the can, just so you know. And I'm gonna be a rebel and I'm not gonna drain the corn because there's like a tablespoon anyway.
It doesn't call for draining the corn.
No.
You know, this is a lot less saucy than our traditional chili recipe, like our ground beef chili recipe. It's even less saucy than our vegetarian chili. So we'll see.
We'll see.
Obviously, the verdict is out. We don't know, but it's at least colorful and pretty.
It is very pretty and really healthy. Like there isn't a thing in here that we could be criticized for, although I'm sure people will find a way. It's the internet, people will find a way. Yeah, it is way less saucy. In our regular chili, we have the brown beans, the chili style beans, and we have tomato paste.
We could add tomato paste to this, not now, but after we try it, if we discover that it isn't saucy enough for our taste, we could add a can of tomato paste and see. Yeah.
We'll see.
Or tomato sauce. Yeah, we'll just, this is our first iteration of turkey chili.
We will let you know. Stay tuned. And then our wonderful labels. This can be done in the stovetop, it can be done in the slow cooker, it can probably be done in the Instant Pot, we'll have to figure that out. And bam, she's done.
Next we're gonna do a turkey and sweet potato skillet. I'm really looking forward to this one. I think we have a chorizo sweet potato skillet that's really good. So I think this is going to be similar, different flavors a little bit, obviously, but this is like a healthier version of that. And on the day you go to make it, it's gonna come together because your turkey's already cooked. This means that you can have dinner on the table in under half an hour, and it's a healthy, hearty dinner. So we've got our ground turkey in our freezer bag. We're gonna add some onion, some minced garlic, taco seasoning. Again, I'm gonna measure exactly because it's the first time we're making this recipe.
In case you're curious, 1 package of taco seasoning is about 4 tablespoons. So this calls for 2 tablespoons, so we would just use half a package. But honestly, we use it so much, we just buy it in bulk.
Totally.
And is it the whole thing?
The whole thing. We've got 2 sweet potatoes that are peeled and diced. We did that in our prep. And a red pepper. One of the ways that I know that something is healthy is if it's colorful, because it just shows that you've got more nutrients in there. So when you've got a recipe that's got orange and red, and in this case purple, because we used a purple onion, then you know that you've got some nutrients going in there, and that makes me pretty happy. Then we're gonna add in some black beans that are rinsed and drained.
It's time to lift our bag, I think. The bag's starting to get full. you know it's going to be hearty and full and
Absolutely.
filling. Yeah.
Then we're gonna add in some green color with our diced green chilies and a little bit of water and some salt. Now, one thing we did ahead is we put half a cup of jalapeno jack cheese in a quart-size bag. We got the air out of that and sealed it. When we get the air out of this one, then we're going to staple those two bags together above the seal so that you don't get holes in your bag. And that way, when you go to cook this up, you're going to cook it up in the skillet. You're going to thaw it first and then cook it in the skillet. And then towards the end, you're going to add the cheese and cover it so that the cheese has a chance to melt over top. And I have very high hopes for this one.
I have high hopes. It looks delicious.
Label me.
I'm on it. This is turkey and sweet potato skillet.
Amazing.
This is the ground turkey stir fry. We're taking a total departure. There is no cumin happening here. There is no taco seasoning happening here. We're going Asian. And it looks really delicious. Now, did you know cabbage can freeze? And it freezes really well. Now, we do have an egg roll in a bowl that we just use coleslaw for. So we already know that this part of the recipe is going to go well.
We've got our ground turkey in our bag already, and then we're going to mix in some vegetables, again, to make this really nice and healthy. One of the great things about freezer meals when it comes to healthy eating is, I don't know about you, but before I started freezer cooking, I would buy all the vegetables, like all the produce from the store, and sometimes I would even have a meal plan where it was written out, like on Tuesday I'm gonna have this, and on Wednesday I'm gonna have this. And so I would buy the vegetables based on my meal plan. But inevitably, my plans would go awry, life happened, and I always say my good intentions would go moldy in the crisper because my produce would literally get moldy as it waited for me to do something with it. Whereas with freezer meals, I am immediately putting the produce into the freezer bag, which goes like into the meal, which then goes into the freezer and it actually gets eaten. I never have it anymore where I've got good intentions that go moldy in the crisper, and it actually makes, like, I'm proud of that fact.
I'm really proud of that fact. I love that too. I'm gonna do a test. It calls for 4 cups of coleslaw. You know, you might as well just put the whole bag in.
Yes, I think.
Because I think it's maybe 4.5 or 5 cups.
I think you're right. And the cabbage really does, like, as it cooks, it does shrink down. Mm-hmm. I know that our egg roll in a bowl looks so big in the bag, but then when you cook it up, it is not nearly as big.
Yeah. So, hey, we saved a dish.
Well, we do need it for the carrots.
Ah, well.
Peas, frozen peas and carrots.
All right. Aha. Ooh, again, looking pretty colorful over here.
And we've got our minced garlic and a splash of sesame oil.
Sesame oil, I definitely like to do it without the measuring spoons because it's so oily and it gets everywhere and it smells for so long that I don't like to put a spoon on it. That's just me being lazy.
And we've got our 1/4 cup of low sodium soy sauce.
We have a few recipes that call for low sodium, and usually we really mean it because if we use it with regular soy sauce, it's just way too salty.
Woo! I got sprayed with the sriracha.
I'll cut your paper towel.
A little sriracha never hurt anyone.
Unless it's in your eye.
Okay, that's true. Maybe
Yeah.
a little sriracha did hurt someone. And we're gonna add in a tablespoon of sriracha. I probably should have measured this, but I'm doing a little more than a
That is more
tablespoon.
than a tablespoon.
That was on purpose. And then some salt and pepper. This is going to be another beautiful one.
That's what?
This one looks really similar to our egg roll in a bowl, honestly, because it's got the ground meat. That one, it uses ground sausage. And it's got the coleslaw.
So would you want to eat it the same way you would eat the egg roll in a bowl? Or do you know what I was even thinking of is like having the steam fried noodles sprinkled on top? Kind of like we do with we have a really good ground chicken lettuce wrap recipe. Oh my goodness. Oh, you would not think that it's a freezer meal. You would think you are eating it in a restaurant. It is so delicious. I think this could be
similar.
Similar to that.
Or you could serve this on rice or on rice noodles. I mean, just like any stir fry, super fast.
Yeah, this will be 10 minutes or less. It really will.
And I would sprinkle it with some sliced green onions on the day you serve this, and then you get even more color.
Maybe some sesame seeds, or add in some peanuts or cashews. Yeah, I'm excited about that one.
This next one was like we called it our sleeper recipe of 2025 because last year this was the most unexpected, like blow your mind, amazing recipe. It's so simple. And it's also one where like when you hear the name, when you hear what it is, you're sort of going to be like, I'm not, nah, not for me. I'm telling you, like my whole family just goes absolutely hog wild for this, but the real test was Christy's husband because he's such a meat eater.
He's a meat and potatoes guy, and this is a vegetarian taco. It is cauliflower tacos. And if when I made this at home, I also made alongside Korean tacos, so that there was like a beef there as well as the cauliflower tacos, and the Korean beef wasn't ready yet. But he was hungry. He was home from work and I had supper ready except for the beef. So I made myself a cauliflower taco and then I'm like, I'm just gonna give this to him. And I said, here it is, it's a cauliflower taco. The meat is coming, just have this and see how it is. Wow. It was just so funny. He's like, after he had a chance to have both, he's like, I'm really debating. I think I want to go back and have another one of those cauliflower tacos. They are just that good. They're so good.
Yes.
The texture, and you have to have it in a hard shell taco. We've decided.
Yep.
I mean, you can do it in a soft shell taco. We don't care what you do, but that's what we recommend.
But for the full experience, like the hard shell taco, it's a great texture. It's a great flavor. And surprisingly simple to put together, but this is one that we just started making like again and again and again and again. And actually, over the Christmas holidays, Christy did a taco bar for Christmas Eve, and this was literally one of the things she put out for her family that was visiting out of town at the taco bar, because you can't have it without it.
I love doing something like tacos when you have company, because if there's any allergies, then they just skip that. Or if they dislike this, then they just skip that. And, everything was pretty evenly distributed. And, of course, everything was a hit. That's just the way it goes.
We're going to add our cauliflower florets into our freezer bag. You cut those into about 1-inch pieces. Then you're going to add in some olive oil. Seal it up and give it a really good shake. In a bowl, you're going to mix together some chili powder, cumin, paprika, dry onion powder. I like to use this Epicure 3 onion blend, red pepper flakes, salt, and pepper. Once you mix your seasonings up, you pour it over your cauliflower, and then you're going to give it another shake in the bag. You're going to get out as much excess air as you can. Seal it up and freeze it. This one, you can bake it in the oven or in your air fryer. And like we said earlier, wow.
Total sleeper agent. It was a really great recipe from last year. And we're going to have to come up with some pretty good stuff to beat it this year. We always do.
We always do.
But man, we did not expect this one to come out the gate swinging.
Full disclosure, we are making this maple Dijon sausage sheet pan because I had Brussels sprouts in my freezer that I wanted to use up.
That's totally a great reason to make some freezer meals.
So when I did my prep for this, I actually sliced the garlic sausage and put it directly into the freezer bag because I was only using it for this one recipe. And I also did the same when I cubed the sweet potato, because these sweet potatoes they're peeled and cubed, but they're cubed a lot larger than the sweet potatoes that we used for the turkey skillet. So I went ahead and threw them directly into my freezer bag and just put it in the fridge. So the prep was done up to this point and right in the bag. And then we're gonna add our Brussels sprouts, frozen Brussels sprouts, and that way it gets them out of my freezer and into an actual meal. And then some purple onion chunks.
Some minced garlic, which, oh, it's over there. I will grab it. 3 cloves. This is such a good one. There isn't a bad thing to say about any of our recipes, but this is really good.
We actually just had this the other night, and it's always a hit. It's
Always a hit.
from my littlest one to my young adult kids, like everybody likes it. And it's, of course, because it cooks up on a sheet pan. Again, everything's ready all at the same time, and you have your full, complete meal right there. And only one dish to wash, although I put parchment paper on it, so I didn't even have to really
It's a wipe
just
at
give it a
best.
wipe. Then our Italian seasoning. Pepper, maple syrup. We just throw that in because we're Canadian.
Of course. Where else are you gonna get your maple flavoring from?
Some Dijon mustard.
So here's a tip. If you have a little bit left in your jar and you want to clean it out, what we really should have done, if we'd have realized, is taken our maple syrup, that quarter cup of maple syrup, and poured it into the Dijon, and then it would shake it up, and then it would incorporate the Dijon better, get more of it out, and then it would just, it's already going to be mixed anyway. It would just be a nice way to clean out your jar and get more.
So we're gonna give that a shake. This is another pretty one. Like,
It is pretty.
we've got green and orange and purple and brown.
All right. Done, 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 done. Awesome.
Now, this next one I made yesterday, but I'm gonna tell you about it today and I'm gonna show it to you today. I made a bunch of air fryer recipes. Those will be coming out next week for you, but one of them was Southwest chicken burritos, and I wanted to put it in this video as well because I wanted to show you how versatile freezer meals can be and how it really is easy to make them for 1 or 2 people, or to make them for lunches, or if you have teens and young adults, for late night snacks or after school snacks. These Southwest chicken burritos use chicken that is cooked and either cubed or shredded. So what I did is I took apart some rotisserie chickens to make this and some of the other meals. And that's where Christy was saying earlier that I've got some homemade chicken broth going on the stove, because I then took the bones and the skin and all the things that come after you deconstruct your rotisserie chicken and threw them in with some water and some seasonings and some vegetable pieces, and whatever has come up in the last day just gets thrown into the pot, and I've got it simmering there still. And when we're done this, we're gonna transfer that into freezer bags. I like to measure it out so I know exactly how much of the chicken stock is in the bag, and then I add that onto the bag so that I know when I'm using it.
Sorry, to interrupt.
When I'm using it in a recipe.
Or you can put them in super cubes. which
Yes.
is very nice because it's already measured. They come in different sizes, but the ones that we use the most have the half cup and the 1 cup measurements. So you have a bunch of blocks of 1 cups of chicken broth. It's awesome.
And then you know exactly how many. If a recipe calls for 1 cup, you just put 1 cube in, and if it calls for 4 cups, you put 4 cubes in. So that's another super easy way to do it. So for this Southwest chicken burritos, I took my shredded chicken, and in a bowl I added some drained black beans, diced red pepper, minced purple onion, drained kernel corn, cumin, salsa, and Tex-Mex shredded cheese. Once that was fully mixed together, I spread a healthy amount onto a flour tortilla and rolled it like a burrito. And I continued to do that until I had a full tray of them, because for these, it's important that you either freeze them flat on a baking sheet and then transfer them into your freezer bag, which is what I did, or that you individually wrap them in parchment paper or foil, because you don't want them to stick together. And if you put them immediately into a freezer bag, you're going to end up with them all sticking together, and then you're not going to be able to take out one at a time to heat up. Now, the great thing about these is that you can heat them in the air fryer, of course, which is why they were in an air fryer video, or you can heat them in the oven or even in the microwave because the chicken is already cooked. So they are a great grab and go lunch, snack, meal, whatever.
And they're always a hit.
Always a hit. And I included them in this video today because I did want to show you the versatility that you can do. You can do breakfasts, you can do lunches, you can do individual servings, you can do large family portions. Freezer cooking is so versatile, but I also wanted to include them here because whenever you're prepping your ingredients, it's good to choose recipes that have similar ingredients. You save a lot of time that way, and you're able to maybe buy things like in bulk. We bought our black beans and our corn at a case lot sale. And these Southwest chicken burritos used the red pepper that we diced for today's recipes, used purple onion that we diced extra of for today's recipes. It used the kernel corn, the black beans, lots of crossover between that and the ingredients we were using today. So I did want to share those with you and just show you another recipe that's healthy and great to have for your New Year's meal prep.
And what's more, if you got a smoking deal on your ground turkey and ground chicken, pretty similar. There isn't really a reason why you couldn't have these to be Southwest turkey burritos, because you're already working with the turkey as well. So,
Absolutely. Good idea.
I really thought you were going to go there. And then you're talking about peppers and black beans, which is all true, but it's almost like turkey. And so give it a try. We just did a bunch of turkey recipes.
If you've decided that this is going to really be your year, you know what I'm talking about. The year you eat healthier, you get more organized, you save time and money in the kitchen, and you actually get dinner under control and get rid of the mental load of figuring out what's for dinner every single day, then we invite you to check out the links in the description below. Check out the recipes. We've got a free cheat sheet for what freezes well and what doesn't. Probably even more important. And check out the Freezer Meals 101 Club, because it really is the best way to actually move this from a good intention to a habit.
Absolutely. We're so glad that you were here to join us today, and we can't wait to see you again.
Thank you for being here, and happy cooking.